Happy Memorial Day 2020, everybody. Have you ever thought about what it would be like to drive your car through a zoo? Well, if you have ever wondered that, you're gonna find that out today because we're taking this car through the Phoenix Zoo. You're gonna wanna stick around and check this out. So what we're actually doing today is an event called Cruise the Zoo. It's actually a special event for these very special times. In order to promote social distancing, because of the plague that shall not be named here on YouTube, the Phoenix Zoo has done a special event where you can actually drive your car through the zoo. And that's what we're here to do today. So if you're interested in doing this event yourself, unfortunately, by the time you see this video, this will not be happening. I think this is the last date, in fact, and it's sold out. So we were lucky to even get into this. However, you never know with the new normal what's gonna happen. So you may have opportunities in the future to do something similar. So it's probably still worth your while checking this out to see if it's something you'd wanna do in case they do this again in the near future. So here's a map of the zoo. Looks like we're gonna enter down here as well as exit, it looks like. And you can kind of see, you loop through the zoo. Looks like we're gonna go around the Tropics Trail and the Africa Trail. So we're probably gonna see some pretty cool stuff. I'm really excited. And there you go, drive slowly, 4 miles an hour. Quick note about the cost for this event. It's $65 per car for non-zoo members, and they do have a variety of food packages that you can pay extra to add on top of it. We did not do that today. And we'll put some information down in the description down below with all of the pricing options in case they do this again in the future and you're curious. Now I'm curious, in any of the towns that you guys live in, have you ever heard of such a thing, a zoo drive-through? If so, leave us a comment down below. I'm just really curious to know how unique this event is, or if other regions are doing similar things throughout this crazy time that we live in. So one cool thing to note is that you can actually listen to an audio tour as you go through. The only catch is you have to manually manage this as you're going through. It's not location based. So for example, there's a welcome message.
Welcome to the Phoenix Zoo's Cruise the Zoo.
So you can see kind of a nice thing to have some narration. For us, it's gonna be a little bit challenging because we're trying to film and do the experience, so I don't think we're gonna be able to play that the entire time, but we can always listen to it later at any time that we wish. All right, we have entered, and we are starting the experience now.
Thank you guys so much for coming out and helping us today.
Thank you.
All right, we are now kind of in the thick of it here. We entered, paid our tickets. We had to do a quick battery change on the fly in the beginning, but looks like maybe the elephants are gonna be up to the left, I think, here on Amy's side. All right, that was our first official animal sighting of the day, the elephant, and I think we lucked out because as soon as we passed it, it started to kind of turn around and walk back towards like an enclosure in the back. So I think that was an awesome score. So you can kind of see the pace that we're taking through here. They said 4 miles an hour, but it's really stop and go, kind of like you're in like rush hour traffic. But I think that's actually okay because you don't want to rush through this for the amount we paid. So I am totally fine with a stop and go type of situation. What is that there? That is the, it's a jaguar, but I don't see a jaguar. And over there, I think those are pelicans maybe? I don't see any signage to tell me, but it's kind of a quaint little lake over there. So if you ordered lunch or kettle corn, here's where you'd actually pick it up. We did not order that, however, but it smells good. I smell barbecue. So far, Amy, what do you think about driving your car through a zoo?
It's
trippy.
It is.
I know this section, and I remember the last time we were here walking down this path.
Oh yeah.
Now I'm driving down this path.
We'll never look at the zoo the same ever again after this.
Oh look, there's birds.
Oh. So one nice thing is a lot of the areas that you drive through here are shaded. So far we've got our windows down. It's Phoenix, so it gets hot here. But we're in this nice little themed area right now, like South America, I think, where they apparently have frutas y huegos. Did I say that right?
You did not.
No, I did not. The one observation I have, Amy's driving. So far, a lot of the action's been on the left. Seen a couple things on the right side, but there's like kind of a rainforesty looking area to the left right now. Amy's filming with a GoPro, but not really too many animals so far. Really the elephants and some pelicans. And you'll see like little exhibits like that too, but you really can't see in them. So it's, yeah, so far, we'll see how it kind of pans out. But haven't seen too much. But I do think over there, behind me, I think there's some horses. I don't know if you could see back there. But you can kind of see though what I'm saying, like you have a lot of obstructed views because of the thick vegetation here. Giddy up, partner. Hello. Oh, cool. Now we got some animals there. There's some camels down there. So over here, it looks like we're gonna get cheetah and mandrills, which I think are monkeys of some sort, right? I remember the cheetah enclosure here. I don't know if we're gonna see any cheetahs today. They're probably staying out of the hot sun. Yeah, they're back there somewhere. The zookeeper just said that, but I don't see them. They're probably in the shade. Amy said she had a spotting of the cheetahs. I did not. They're in some shade back there. She said they were snuggling. But I'm gonna give you a quick story while we're waiting here about that exhibit. Very ironically, on Easter Sunday, I forget the year, Amy and I came and visited the zoo. We were at the cheetah exhibit, and a rabbit, like a regular rabbit from indigenous to the area here, somehow got in the exhibit, and we saw the cheetahs hunt one down. So pretty cool to see the cheetahs hunt, but very sad at the same time. So there you go. Oh, cool. So I think we actually get to see, there's some mandrills. Those are I think those are the monkeys with the really colorful faces, are they not? One thing I noticed that kind of makes it hard is that you got those rails like that you would normally be standing behind when you're visiting the exhibit, but when you're away from a distance, those rails sometimes obstruct your views of the animals, I've noticed. So still fun, you still see them, but I don't know how well things are gonna come out on video, unfortunately. Oh, there's a tortoise right there. Look at that, that thing is huge. That is the Aldabra tortoise. Well, that was a pretty cool sighting, the tortoise. I was just kind of sitting there in plain view, so that was a success, I would say. I reckon there's something in there. People are slowing down. Oh, I think I might see something.
There's a sign coming up.
I see it. It's like, what is that? Is that a hyena? Hyena.
Spotted hyena.
Yeah, that is a spotted hyena. You could see it when we get around the bend here, I think you'll see it. Yeah, you see that, guys? There's a lion, I believe, back there, kind of on the other side of the hill. So, got a really brief glimpse at it, but unfortunately, I see it's, nope, that's just the entryway to get in there. But yeah, it's down there on the other side of that hill. A nice view of the Papago Rocks there in the background, or part of the Papago Rocks. Now, one thing I can say about this experience is that you are supporting the zoo by paying the entry fee, especially through this crazy time that we find ourselves in. So that's one thing I think you can feel good about if you do happen to come and visit, is that I think the proceeds probably go to help supporting the zoo and feeding animals, and I'm sure much more. You know, now that we've gone through this a little ways, you know, one thing that I can say that is really fun, I think just simply driving through the zoo, it's a very novel experience that you don't really get to do on a day-to-day basis. So I don't, you know, coming back here in the future knowing that we drove our car through the zoo is gonna provide us some good laughs and some memories in the future. So yeah. So looking at the map and estimating our current position in the zoo, we estimate we're probably about halfway done already. It's about 12:35 at this point. So we've been in here about 30 minutes. So it appears that the experience will definitely last longer than 30 minutes, which is good. We want to get our money's worth. So I'm gonna guess that it's gonna be closer to an hour is my bet. You know, based on all this traffic, I think that's like the African savanna section over there to the left. So I'm guessing there's some giraffes or something. There must be something good, because this has been going really slowly for the last like 5-10 minutes or so. All right, cool. So yeah, off to the left there's the African savanna. You can actually see giraffes way up on the hillside over there. Pretty cool.
Looks like an ostrich or an emu.
Where?
Over there.
Oh yeah, there is an ostrich or emu. So this is one of the better exhibits I think we've seen today. It's much more open, and you can actually see lots of animals here. I think I count 4 giraffes. And then like, yeah, some kind of giant bird, emu or ostrich. You know, like what if about like 6 months ago, a year ago, you were to tell yourself that you would be driving through a zoo on Memorial Day of 2020 because the world is experiencing some crazy pandemic thing. Never would have in a million years thought this. So assuming then that we are coming up on a zebra, I think I see a zebra on the map there. So I think we're about here. Then we're gonna have to go, I think, back this way, down here, and an exit. So I don't think we're too far away from being finished actually, but I still, looking at the time, I still think it's gonna take an hour for the whole journey. I would say that this is better enjoyed not vlogging it because this is a challenge to film, folks. Just because there's so many obstructions at any given time, just some of the natural plants in the area, some of the handrails. I'm having a good time, but yeah, this is definitely one of the more challenging things we've had to document, I think, so far on the Cactus Atlas here. So there's a bunch of flamingos right here, very close to the cars. I'd say it's probably the closest animal encounter we've had today. Would you agree, Amy?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They're right there.
There you go, you got a bunch of greater flamingos. Hey guys, how's it going? Woo. All right, bye-bye. Thank you. We had a good time too. So we were on the other side of the lake going the other direction just before, but you can kind of get a really good view of the lake over here. This is really beautiful actually. And way out there in the middle of the lake, some kind of, I think they're pelicans or something like that. Just chilling, enjoying the nice sunny day. And then there's a sign over here for the orangutan. One of my favorite things. And I always say orangutan as if there's a G, a tang ending. Do you guys say orangutan? Like as if there's a G on the end? Is that the right way to pronounce it? I never really gave this much thought until right now. Curious. Ooh, some smooth jazz. Some smooth jungle jazz. Oh, I guess, yeah, you could pay for a picture and they take your picture here. We did not do that, but something that's good to know about.
We have video, it lasts forever.
That's right, we take our own pictures here. Did you see it, Amy? The orangutan? Orangutan? Yeah, I didn't see them either. Actually, I do see it now, but there's no way you're gonna be able to film it. He's underneath, so that you can see him kinda, but yeah, you get really brief windows in which to film. So you can kinda see, you get like a brief clearing where you can kinda peek into an exhibit, but that's really the only window you really get, and that's very common on this experience today. So very few opportunities to actually see into an exhibit. Yeah, normally you'd walk, there's like a little shaded area, a building where you'd see the tiger. So obviously today you can kind of peek through there. You can see windows in there, but yeah, there's no way we're gonna see it. Maybe we'll get lucky as we wind around here and can actually peer inside. We'll find out. Well, that was kind of a letdown. It seemed like the tiger was there and we couldn't spot it, so oh well. All right, we are heading back now. We've left the zoo, and I want to just kind of give you my thoughts about this. Amy and I kind of talked about it, and I think we're pretty much aligned on the same thing. She's focusing on driving us home safely right now. Overall, I think we both felt like this was a really good cause. You know, we spent $65 to be able to drive through the zoo, and that helped feed many animals. So we feel really good about that. We both thought the novelty of driving a car through the zoo was pretty sweet. So I wouldn't know if I'd go so far to say as that alone is worth the price of admission, but it was pretty cool. However, on the flip side, it's really difficult to see animals on that. We really didn't see that many, and that's basically because A, there's a lot of plants and handrails and things that are really obscuring your view. Keep in mind the zoo really wasn't designed to be driven through like that. So if you expect to see a lot of animals, if they ever do this in the future, prepare to be a little let down, I think, there. But if you really want to support a good cause, help feed animals, get to drive through a zoo, and it was fun, lasted about an hour, then it might be something you'd want to consider in the future. So as always, if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe, and look us up on social media at Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.